All right, friends, it's Team Man, and I'm back. I'm back. It's a Mandarin Broski, my favorite place, right there. Man, and I went to go get a shitload of sushi, man, right away. That's the first thing I went to go and get. Yeah, man. So, hey, I wanted to say in this video, well, you know what I always say: if you live in the past, you can't live in the future, bro. But whatever, man. So, I was watching. I just did two videos. Like, what was it? Greg Doucette and Jason Blaha video. Yeah. About bodybuilding. He says that you can't build muscle, or what did he say? Oh yeah. You're never going to build muscle as a natural, so you need to take steroids to build muscle. Well, he's always advocating that you're building muscle. Protein synthesis, right? When you lift weights will protein synthesis. They're going to protein synthesis. Well, guess what? I have news for you people. Weights don't protein synthesis. Protein synthesizes protein. But weights, they don't synthesize protein. Get it, bro? Yeah, weightlifting doesn't synthesize protein. Weightlifting opens a window for protein synthesis. And there's a window now for protein breakdown, so you're breaking down protein. So yeah. But if you don't synthesize any protein, and it doesn't outpace protein breakdown, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to deteriorate. You're going to deteriorate faster than you're regenerating, because bodybuilding is really just regenerating. That's really what it's about, regenerating. Now, how you regenerate using exercise is up to you. In other words, let's say you want to really create a huge amount of regeneration. Okay, so what do you want to be? You want to be in an anabolic growth state. That doesn't mean necessarily you're going to be building muscle. You're just simply outpacing the breakdown. So what happens is this. So let's say you come in often to the gym. You're not eating carbohydrates. We don't want to eat carbs. We don't want to eat plants. That's for sure. Anti-nutrients or anything like that. We want to be in a positive nitrogen balance. We want to outpace the breakdown so we can regenerate. Okay, so what do? Whatever you're doing there, I don't know, 6 days a week, whatever these guys, they bring me my ice and everything. I just love this place, but my hot towel. So you want to outpace that breakdown, dude. So basically, you come into the gym, you work out, you eat protein before you come in the gym, you're positive nitrogen balance. When you open that window, you come back, and the same thing, bro. You open a window for protein synthesis, so now you exceed that by eating here. You come here and then you eat you just keep eating, piling it on, so you can outpace that breakdown, so you could be regenerative. See, so you're not deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. Now you're regenerating faster than you are deteriorating. See the difference? Now you understand how you can manipulate and use bodybuilding to your own advantage. But most people, they don't do that. They don't realize that their little meals and them eating plants and working out, being in a negative nitrogen balance, is just going to deteriorate them faster than they're regenerating. But hey, man, like I said, each to their own, right, broski? Everybody has to learn on their own. Me personally, I do regenerative bouts of muscle damage. That's different. So to build muscle, you need to regenerate muscle. Yeah. So you have to break it down, and then you have to rebuild it. That's how it works, and that can only happen periodically. See what I mean? And then again, protein synthesis needs to outpace that breakdown. Now, people that come in often to the gym, they just want to see a regenerative effect, like a quick effect. You keep coming to the gym often, you just do these workouts, you got to outpace that breakdown, and then when you outpace that breakdown, you're regenerating. Get it? That's all, really. Blaha and all these other people talking about anti-nutrients and stuff, bro, they're just going to deteriorate you faster than you're regenerating. That's a lot of people. That's what's happening to a lot of people in the gym. That's why they say their faces are getting old, they're getting old, blah, 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 blah. Because they're not really doing it properly. They don't understand what bodybuilding or lifting is really all about. It's just really about regenerating. Now, like I said, if you're not outpacing that breakdown and you're just eating your 32 grams of protein, or your whatever grams you're eating there, I don't know, 25 grams or 1 gram per body weight, good luck with that, dude. If you're following a schedule, you're going to fail. You're doomed to fail in everything. Now, when it comes to carbohydrates and people coming into the gym, and protein synthesis is not outpacing breakdown, but glycogen is outpacing glycogen breakdown, guess what's happening? Sarcoplasmic muscles, and you're deteriorating faster than you're aging. I'm not joking, bro. Get it? So yeah, that's how it really works. And then people that, let's say people come in and they get this damage, and then that too is not outpacing breakdown. They get this damage, they lose muscle too. That's why a lot of people complain, I got a stronger, but I never got a bigger, or I'm getting smaller. They're going to the gym and they're like, I'm getting smaller, bro. Go figure, bro. They're getting smaller because they're not outpacing breakdown. It's kind of simple. They're breaking down more. They're breaking down more than they're building, and this is how you build. So weights do not synthesize protein. Okay, when he says we're lifting and we're synthesizing, you're not synthesizing anything there. You're opening a window for synthesis, but you're not synthesizing jack shit without this. Get it, bro? Anyways, I'll see you in the next plate. I gotta go, bro. Eat that. It'll make you better, okay? All right, friends, I'm back with the shrimp bros. You know me, man. I was just having a nice conversation because I wanted more shrimp. There was a girl there. She works there. I don't know. She's a Latina girl. I was talking to her in Spanish. Yeah, we were having a nice chat. Anyway, yeah. So I want to say in this part of the video, I want to talk about regeneration. So now that we all know what prevents deterioration, now about this longevity thing. Now, I can't prove it because I've never put it to the test, but apparently science says it's possible. So the only reason you're going to the gym is to cause a slight level of damage so that your body can go through a regenerative phase. You can get more cells. You can expand the satellite cell pool, and therefore the telomeres will expand, and you're gonna live longer. You can wear off this so-called shortgevity that you may die early. Could that bypass biological clock? Well, I don't know what a biological clock is. I've only heard about people say that in science, biological clock. Does it really exist? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Science says that you can regenerate more cells. If you can regenerate more cells, then that must mean that you can keep extending your life. How do these marine life, how do they keep living so long? Well, because they're regenerating. They regenerate what? Cells, new cells. How do you get new cells? Muscle injuries will get you new cells in the gym. Boom. And then protein synthesis will get you those. Well, you got to grow these new cells, get the new cells, get the stem cells to split and divide. But now, to wear off this degeneration, you're regenerating at the same time. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. Yeah, to see that happen. So it's really two parts. If you were to do both parts, but people are so busy destroying themselves. They want to destroy themselves. They don't want to really regenerate. Maybe they do. Maybe they think it's regenerating, but in fact, you're all just getting old and dying and dropping off. The truth is, you're not really putting in the work that you need to regenerate your body. Get it? To regenerate, to stop the deterioration, and to get longevity. So when the longevity guy says, these are longevity people like Brian Johnson, I am longevity, Tony, and all that. Thank you. So when they're telling you that, oh man, you got to jump around, you got to preserve these motor units and all that. Well, that preserves motor units. That does everything. Food does everything. But I'm saying, to get more cells to keep regenerating. Remember, these stem cells are quiescent. You got to get them to come out of quiescence so they can split, divide, and increase in number. So if you're getting new cells, because literally you can turn old muscle into new muscle. If you're doing that, old into new, that's a good thing. Get it? Now, wearing off degeneration too, being protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown. See, 2 in 1, bro. Think about it like this. Animals, when you see tigers, when they eat, what do? They eat to satiety. You understand me? They're eating meat, but they're eating to satiety. They basically eat as much meat as they can to the point where they can't eat anymore. That's what I'm doing. Therefore, they are always in a positive nitrogen balance. Now, when it becomes time for them, when they notice it's time for them to eat again, to be in positive nitrogen balance, because it's their instincts tell them that, it's time to hunt, and it's time to eat again, gorge, and be in positive nitrogen balance, so they don't deteriorate. That's why animals, when they die, they look young when they die. But here's the difference. Can they live longer live longer than that point where they actually die looking young. And even cows, you notice cows, they have to eat all day. They eat all day. They graze. These animals graze all day. They grass all day. They're in positive nitrogen balance, right? Anyway, so like I said, so them, do they have the abilities to regenerate? Well, they do. They run and they kind of regenerate whatever, so and so and so and so. But maybe they're just not doing enough of it. You understand me? They're not doing it periodically. Like humans are different. We can't just go a whole week without eating just meat. I mean, we gotta eat. We still gotta eat periodically. Unlike lions, we're smaller creatures. We're smaller creatures than lions or tigers. Okay, they're heavier. They're weighing up to 760 pounds or whatever. Okay, we're not in that league. We're not weighing that much, unless of course you're a really big guy, a fucking giant weighing a lot. But that could be just dead weight you're carrying. Anyways, the point is, your stomach is a lot smaller, and the way you digest food and everything is totally different. But yeah, like I said, so regeneration basically, it's the same thing. Periodic regenerating, going to a gym, causing some injuries, and then regenerating them, getting these stem cells to increase the stem cell pool. That's all. It's really simple, bro. And you're going to remove senescent cells at the same time. Any senescent cells that may have accumulated, you can get rid of them. That way you keep staying fresh all the time and wearing off myogenic decline. That's the whole point. So yeah, nobody in science really tells you that. Nobody in these channels or YouTube, they never talk about the stem, use it or lose it, the stem cell pool, the satellite stem cell, use it or lose it, PubMed. That tells you how to regenerate and why you should regenerate your body, new cells, and the stem cell pool, increasing the stem cell pool for further regenerative demands. Then there's deteriorating faster than you're regenerating. Get it? Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. So when you combine these two, they can provide a very powerful tool, man, a magically powerful tool. So a little bit of periodic lifting, getting some regeneration, and that wearing off deterioration. Get it? When protein synthesis exceeds that outpaces that breakdown. See, that's not hard really to put it together when you think about it. It's like when I discovered bodybuilding. When I discovered bodybuilding, what builds muscles? I just kept doing it and it worked all the time. Like it just kept working all the time. When I kept eating as much as I could, I was in a positive nitrogen balance. It outpaced breakdown, the protein. And I went periodically to the gym to damage my muscles and they just kept growing. It never stopped. They kept growing. Of course, it's going to come to a point where it's going to become very difficult to keep growing, of course. You know, it's not like you're just going to keep growing and bust and die. But anyways, that's the idea. Get it, bro? All right, I'll see you in the next plate, man. I gotta go. I gotta eat this. All right, friends, I think I had it, man. I just ate too much, and I don't think I can handle eating anymore, bro, today. Because I ate like straight, like 3 days in a row here. Even last week I ate here up until Friday. I took Saturday and Sunday off, but I ate a lot on Saturday and Sunday. Plus, I've been eating some eggs in the morning and then sometimes in the evening, just to keep up with the cholesterol. But yeah, I'm so full, man. Like I was telling the guy here that works here in the meat counter, I say, you know, exercise, people that exercise, they're just degenerating. It's better to what's the opposite of degenerate? Regenerate. It's better to regenerate than degenerate. And how do you do that? Eating food. Exercise is not going to do that. It's going to give you an old face, and then you're going to shorten your lifespan. So exercise will shorten your lifespan and give you an old face. Now, your natural food like meat, fish, animal products are going to make you better and live longer. You're just going to be so much better. You're going to have a better face, like the looks maxing community. The transformations are what? Meat. Now, in the bodybuilding community, which is corrupt, what is their transformation? Oh, I took steroids and I transformed. And then what happens when they go off the steroids? Oh, I transform back again to the dweeb-looking dweeb that I am. Okay, well, whatever. Get it? See what I mean? And all these fake potions, everything are going to build muscles. That doesn't regenerate muscles. Again, like, if you read PubMed, satellite cell, use it or lose it, they tell you what regenerates muscles, bro. Get it? They tell you periodic lifting, muscle injuries, that's what regenerates muscle. And what will build it? Well, that mess, protein synthesis, must outpace protein breakdown. That's what happens. If it doesn't, you're not going to see jack shit. So those two things regenerate. The injuries with a combination of protein outpaces breakdown. At least you won't see your face droopy and aging. Now, when I said that people coming in often to the gym trying to regenerate, that's a very short cycle. They do very light or regular exercises. They do some exercises, right? Very short, in a short window. And then the rest is just eating outpaces breakdown protein so that you just keep regenerating. That's all. You're really just circulating. You're not really damaging. You're just kind of circulating some satellite cell because of hypoxia or something. So yeah, there is some regenerative stuff there going on. That's for people that coming in often to the gym. But I'm talking about protein synthesis. In other words, they're always saying that they're opening a window for protein synthesis, but they're not synthesizing protein, because protein can only synthesize protein. Get it? It has to outpace breakdown in order for it to synthesize. Otherwise, you're not synthesized. You're breaking down now. You get the idea. I think at this point people understand what I'm trying to, the point I'm making. But whatever. Maybe they just don't. I don't know. Each to their own. I use my experience, my intuition, my what do you call it? My everything, bro. I use my brain to think what I'm supposed to do, okay? A lot of people, they don't. They rely and think about the same thing that they're doing in their life over and over again, something unnatural, whatever. And then they'll scream and yell about it, thinking that whatever they're doing is right. And actually, the truth is, whatever they're doing is just wrong, bro. Get it? They're really probably just frustrated. When the frustration comes out, they're frustrated with themselves because they really don't know what they're doing. They think they know what they're doing, but when the truth hits them, that's when people get frustrated, because the frustration comes out because they think what they're doing is correct. But when the truth comes out, they know what they're doing is wrong, but they get frustrated because what they're doing is wrong. That's all. And they get angry about it, frustrated, that somebody would come out and question what they're doing is wrong and prove that it's wrong. And then they just get nuts about it. It's just like that in society. What can you do, man? You can't help it. People are just fucking like that everywhere. Anyways, do what's best for you. Me, I do what's best for me, and I suggest you all do what's best for you. So I'll see you in the next video, my friends. All right? Bigger, better, stronger, and faster. See you in the next one. Eat that. It's going to make you better than the last time.